I mean, sometimes the notes are wrong, but that's why we're practicing 4 hours before. So there will be some rehearsrsal. There will be
the loneliest monk, man.
You
No
know?
wrong notes. That's how
You're
they
right.
resolve, right?
You're definitely right. But somehow it seems like there are still wrong notes. We are back. What is this? My third or fourth?
Podcast and stuff.
Man, I'm a fan.
I haven't said that in a long time. Podcast and stuff.
Podcast and
'Cause
stuff.
I've been all depressed and emo
Boosh.
and shit. I've been all emo and shit.
Yeah, man, that's some boosh.
That is some boosh. the I don't know. This ain't your third time. It's probably only your second time. But last time you was here, R.I.P. Matt, right? Because he was here
shout
too.
out to Matt. We miss you. We love you, Matt.
Episode 18.
Just so you know, no hard feelings, Matt. I want you back in the life of Kra.
What do you think happened to that dude? Why you think? I know why. I don't know why he cut me off.
I
don't know. Men and women cut me off. Now I live that life for both.
I think Matt is just on to new horizons, and sometimes people need drastic changes, So
why you think he has to
understandable.
hard cut people off?
Oh God, bro, you're putting me in the hot seat today, God. Let's just tear apart Matt.
I mean, it's not even tearing him apart. I'm just like literally, I don't know. It's the mystery.
You're
Is the
right.
mystery.
We're not tearing apart Matt. We
Yeah.
love Matt. He's a mystery. He's a mysterious person, but he's a musician, So
Is he? Does he? So he still
he's
makes
definitely a
music?
musician, man.
Hmm.
You can't. Some people are just born with it. You can't run away from it.
Maybe
People
it's
just have like a musical calling.
mm.
Even like people who like give up on their musical dream, like they still are good at their instrument or at their talent, and if they ever go back to that talent, then they will continue to progress. That's just how it works. But some people unfortunately are like positioned to put their dreams of being famous aside and stuff like that to go pursue more realistic avenues. Front door.
Shout out to your house. It's the
House
extra
alarm
guest.
system works.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
Oh, what's good, son? Yeah. Are you gonna come through?
Yeah,
Are you
so
gonna come
I have
through?
roommates. Let's explain what's going on in case you don't know. So like this is a house and people live in my house. I rent out rooms.
Yo, people live in your
So,
house. That's crazy.
people live in my
And
house,
you rent
dude.
out rooms. That's all
Can you
kinds of
believe
shit.
it?
That's
This is
all
the
kinds of shit.
21st century.
Damn.
It's 2019 and people are still living in houses. I don't know. Let's cut that out. Let's just edit this.
You don't want it? You can just leave it. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like,
And
anyway,
go back in.
what
See? You freeze so you can just cut it.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably just leave it because who cares? I don't care about
Indeed.
anything.
Yeah,
no more. I don't care about nothing no more. Everything.
Boom. I don't care about
I'm dead right now.
podcasting stuff. I don't care about nothing no more.
I don't. Everything is ridiculous.
Well, Abe, let's do the Step Brothers thing. Let's have an interview on you.
I feel like a lot of people like to do that, man. They like to. They want to do
I
that.
guess.
I feel like you want to have an interview with me. All you have to do is hang out with me.
That's true.
And I'll tell you, hey man, here's why I'm emo. Here's my thought process on life and stuff. So I mean, yeah. The last video, my man's gonna play while I talk.
Keep talking, bro.
The last video I did, you probably haven't seen it, but a few people have. It was a video about me talking about why I was depressed for 45 minutes. It's on YouTube. Don't see it, Kra. But I'm in a slightly better place than I made that video.
Dude, I mean, that's
A way
needed.
better-
Life is
way
a roller
better place.
coaster. So, I was there. I actually, I don't want to talk about my trials and tribulations too much.
But you just brought it up. It's like,
Yeah. It's
yo,
like,
here's
a
this
story.
pinata. Don't hit
Goodbye.
it. Yeah, don't hit it.
Nah, it's just, I remember there was a good moment in my teaching career where, I was like gaining a lot of weight and just kind of like losing a lot of confidence. But, I'm on the up rising.
You climbing the
of that,
staircase, you climbing the ladder.
Climbing the ladder, man. Coming back at it. And a lot of it had to do with this album. So it kind of pushed me in the right direction. But
Why the album push you in the right direction?
it just seemed like, it goes back to that musicianship thing. Like I was like basically born a musician and I kind of had to accept that. And it's just such like a travesty that I haven't been able to put out an album until now. So I'm just really glad to be like kind of getting that done. But at the same time, things happen for a reason. So I know that everything kind of came into place and fit at the right time to get to this moment, because now I have like a bunch of like really good talented friends. And before, like 7 years ago when I first wanted to do this album, like I didn't have like the wealth of friends and skill and even like I guess knowledge on how to like work an album. This is like my fourth attempt to like work the album. So but this time I'm taking it like
other
big.
Three?
The first time it was a lot of the first three were just do it yourself. Like I was a Pro Tools 10 guy and just like kind of learned how to record some stuff and took some basic lessons and then tried to record, and like I didn't know how to master or mix the sound or anything like that. And it kind of became like I already knew all the songs I wanted to put on the album, but I was just too broke to afford like a nice recording studio. And now where I'm in, you know, I didn't get it like overnight. Like I had to like basically save up. I should have saved up long ago, you know, but so ultimately I saved up and now I have enough money to throw an album down. So we're going to be doing that at Matador Studios. And I mean, I remember you used to always telling me like, yo man, like when you're going to put some music out and stuff like that. And I just kind of waited a very long time, but now is the time. Now is the moment. So
I still feel like
this conversation's dying.
I feel like with one of us, you probably still could have done the DIY album though, but you probably would have needed like one of us, unless you turned yourself into the same knowledge that we all had. Like you could have done it with one of us.
I know what you mean. I know a lot of people that like, you know, a lot of the electronic artists, they'll make up their beats and stuff like that. And then they'll go and just mix it themselves and release it themselves, and they'll try to be that mogul.
Well,
that's just so hard to do, man.
All of us suck at.
I guess that is the mogul, yeah.
Yeah, no, we all suck at that.
But
otherwise,
just like the half
I know
mogul.
more people who it was their living. Like
just a moog.
But I'm not even talking about that part. I just mean like the doing of the music part. I feel like you could have done it. Like if you really wanted to learn that knowledge, you could have done it yourself, or you could have just gotten one of us and like somehow convinced us to like I guess spend a month on you like instead of us. But
I know what you mean, man.
Yeah, it could have been done.
It could have been done, but I feel like again, it's almost like destiny, you know? Like
yeah, man, it happens.
I feel like in my like younger dreams, I like would dream about like this house and like me writing like up in my room, and I wouldn't really like understand where I was. But like now the moment that I'm in, like it like makes sense. It was like, oh, this is what I was dreaming about back when I was like 12 or, you know, like in high school. Like it's almost as if this was like prophesized and like it needed to happen at this moment. So
the prophecy of Kra.
And it's very funny how like things just happen by instance. Like ultimately, so this is a podcast about the album, by the way. This is what we're trying to get onto at least. So I apologize if I'm talking too much about it.
How you gonna
that doesn't make any sense,
don't
right?
talk about it?
I'm like, why am I apologizing about it?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the duality aspect of it. So the album's called Duality, and essentially, like there's two sides to the brain. So I wanted to get two bands to represent both sides of the brain that kind of like argue with each other and kind of like tell you like either to go left or go right, you know, like to wake up on time or to sleep in a little bit extra. It's all those like decisions that you make every day that you don't really think affect the future, but they affect the future like tremendously, because, you know, like that split second, you know, could be like the difference between like a car accident and like, you know, like a shortcut to, you know, school. So there's a bunch of very, very powerful themes that are just present, and it's basically just an album that like rejoices life, but at the same time celebrates the duality aspect of joy. So there's also like a little bit of fear, and I really do enjoy that. So we got some of like a lot. They're all my friends. Everybody who's in the album is somebody that I know, and I divided them up into two bands. So one band is composed of Sark Gutierrez. He's a drummer. Luis Gonzalez, and Sarah. She's a bass player. I forgot Sarah's name. Sorry, Sarah.
Roja?
Sure.
ROCH? I don't know how you say it, but I mean.
Rosas?
Roja?
Do we have to look it up now? We have to look it up now.
Anyway, Sarah, bass player. You didn't even say Lewis, instrument, guitar.
Lewis plays guitar. Sark plays drums. Sarah plays bass. And they're like some of the most solid musicians in San Antonio right now. They play for, now Alatos. And they have their own little jazz gigs that they do. And they're all kind of like in their own little world, which is why like it'd be too much to ask them to kind of like tour every, like day or do a show every day. It almost fits better to just do an album. So we're all coming together on Thanksgiving to do half the album. The other half of the band will do the other half, which is composed of Joaquin Muerte, Felipe Iwergas, and Sam Sheben on guitar.
Who's Felipe?
Felipe is a bass player. He's going to be mainly on bass, and then Sam and Joaquin will kind of trade between drums. Joaquin will go to conga drums if Sam's on drums, and then Sam will play guitar if he's not on drums. So it's really cool because they're multi-talented. So those are going to be like the two sides of the brain that kind of like
this is an album.
talk
Sam
to
can
each
always
other.
play guitar. I mean, like,
right? Anybody,
yeah.
But I'm not going to do click tracks, so it's going to be like a live recording, a live feel. So that's something I'm definitely, striving for. There's going to be, it's just like basically a friend album, like everybody who I know who's available on Thanksgiving, because some people are going home, but everybody who I know who's available, like, told them to come down to the studio and kind of like just jump in on it. We're going to have these long tracks with a bunch of like space to improv and kind of do your own thing. And that's kind of like what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be like a portfolio or like some kind of like, marker of my like 20s and all the friends that I made. And when I like am old and withering away, like I can go back and listen to that album and it could be like something to reminisce on. I feel like if I keep it like personal and just like only for me and just like only expect like good music that I would appreciate, then like the fan base will build later. It's really not even about like the fan base at this point. It's just like something we could put out there that has all my friends. And I know it sounds good. I mean, some of the tracks are like, like classic tracks like this one. This is like an old song that I played back like since like college, and it was kind of this song about like I wanted to like wake San Antonio up with this like feel good song, so that it goes, what up, good morning, I'm dreaming up everything to places I never go, pouring time right out the window. So that's like been a song that's been with me for a very long time. So that's going to be in the album. And like you're going to rap on that, dude. So there's going to be like
this is the track I'm rapping on.
Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Abe, and never look, it's going to be stuff like that. So and then there's another rap song too. So we got Art Bars rapping on a cool part of the album. And I mean, I can't scat the beats too much, but just expect a lot of like really cool things. Ultimately, the first track is it's called Epitaph. It's something that I kind of took from UTSA. Mark Brill taught me about the Epitaph of Sikylos. It's this Greek tablet that had a melody written on it. So I kind of took that melody and made it my own and put a chord progression behind it, made up a song, and it sounds amazing. So that's Epitaph. And then there's a lot of reoccurring things too, but ultimately the album deals with just, two sides of the coin. So there will be some theatrics involved in the album. Another song that I'm really excited to put on is one called Demon Stars and Freedom Cars. It goes like this. Just 1:30 noon, 1, 2, 3. All inside it is okay in me. So it's like that.
That's a classic Kra.
That's
song.
a classic Kra song, you know. And it had so many themes, but right now, Demon Stars, Freedom Cars kind of came about because there were many moments when, like, I would question the police, and just like a very
like that metal song,
you know, like a modern
Royalties.
like a modern. It's a modern like idea right now. Just people that are questioning authority. So you know, like I just remember like being financially crippled by the police and feeling like I was unfairly treated many times, and how like I had this like deep like, I don't want to say hate, because like I know that they're needed too. So it's kind of like that duality aspect in mind when like there's just like necessary evil, you know, that like sometimes like they'll give tickets to the wrong people, and you know those people will be like not able to afford food, or they won't pay the ticket, or you know, like when the people were taken away from the police, like going on to like immigration, like, you know, I remember I was in school and I had like kids lose their fathers and stuff like that due to, you know, ICE, and like kids would come up to me and be like, you know, like my dad's gone, you know, Trump took my dad and stuff like that. And these are like kids. So like those kind of situations and how you interact with that, like kind of like inspired this new version of like that song, which was just kind of more aggressive. But the word Demon Stars and Freedom Cars are like, you know, it's like there's these like blue and like red lights that flash, you know, and to like an outsider perspective, like, or just insider, like that car like represents like America, it represents the law, it represents freedom, and they're keeping us safe. But at the same time, they hold the power to kind of ruin somebody's life like for forever. And the thing is like there's a lot of people out there who like, if we like snapped our fingers and just like let like judgment occur, like let's see who's like, you know, speeding, or let's see who's like drinking and driving, or let's see who has, you know, like drugs in their house or whatever, like any of that, like if they like snap their fingers, like there'd be like tons of people who like drink and drive all the time, who like, you know, break the law, that would get in trouble. But it's almost like those people are still good people and they're evading the police. And it's kind of like some people that get caught, they get 20 years, you know? And they get 20 years for like small substances and stuff like that, which is like something I don't agree with. So, you know, like the fact that they're like legalizing marijuana right now, and there's a bunch of people in jail for like selling marijuana, and now we're legalizing that. Like there's some like gray area there where like it's like, why are these people still in jail? Like what kind of danger to society were they? Other things like that too. But the law is a very, very it's a double-sided sword, you know. So that's kind of where that song was inspired from. And there's many other songs that are in the album too, but you know, those were some like original Kra songs. Some of the newer songs that we wrote was like one called like Warriors.
You said we, so that means it's not just you.
That's crazy though. I think it's because like I'm starting to like accept the fact, this is ultimately what duality means to me. It's like the subconscious is like a spirit in itself. So like I guess I'm saying we. I mean, I wrote these songs. They're all me. But maybe there's like a dual side of me, like literally a reflection of me somewhere who's also like giving me information. And I kind of wanted to get into that. It's like the voice that like talks to you, you know? It's like the personification of like the left and the right, like angel.
Subconscious voice.
It's like all those things that are talking to you, like those, in my opinion, are, if not you, some other living creature that like is trying to give you advice. So like when I write, and you know, like I'm an improver, so like I like love to improvise, and that's kind of how I make up a lot of my songs. But it's like,
do these songs have lyrics yet, or are you gonna improv them next week?
well, I have written down phrases and I have the melody essentially already thought up, but the lyrics, they haven't solidified themselves yet, and I'm okay with that, because I know words are important to a lot of people, but right now for me, it's just the way the chords fit and lay down, and really the words, especially like, I mean, it's like I appreciate rap music so much, but I really can't understand sometimes like the words that they're saying, but I still enjoy it because of the rhythmic accuracy and delivery of the lyrics. And in some cases, I feel like that's what I'm going to go for. Like I might even scat some of this. Like I might do like one or two takes, and like the second take, it sounds better, but I get like the lyric messed up, and I kind of like hum it or scat it. Like I'll go with that take, because I'm not trying to spend like forever to make this album perfect. I kind of want to go for this raw, live, energetic feel. So that's what I'm going for. And yeah. So the words haven't been solidified yet in that regard. But it's gonna make itself. Like once we get all that talent in the studio, like what I've seen in rehearsals is that just let that talent shine, and you kind of just lead the way with the chord progressions, which I've all written down. So, but Warriors is a good one because it starts off and it's all happy. And then it goes to like this like, because it's like warriors that are like trying to like go and like, yeah, we're going to be warriors. It's so cool. Warriors around. And then it's like they go to battle and it's like, this isn't what we signed up for. Oh my gosh, we have to like kill a bunch of people, and oh my gosh, my friends are dying,
Yeah.
So it's like this very intense of like, and then in the middle of the rehearsal, like after that part, Sark suggested that we do like a reggae feel to like kind of like, in the song, and it sounded perfect. So we kind of are gonna add like this. That's a bad example because it's just piano. You need the. So it's gonna be cool. That's gonna be a good song. And
do you get to use a real piano?
I have access to a real piano. I'm gonna bring this piano, my other piano with all the voices on it, and I'm just gonna play around and see what fits. I really wanted to do the album in A444, but it's looking like we're gonna have
444.
Well, I feel like A444 is like the new tuning secret, and
432
now it's out. Everybody, 432 is too flat, So like 432 is like a slower vibration, a lower vibration. But if you go 444, then it's a heightened vibration. It kind of raises the senses of the people around it. If anything, there's all this music that's tuned to 440, and there's a lot of music that's tuned to 432. Scientifically, this music, if you play them all in the same room, if you play something tuned to a higher note, 444, it will stand out. So scientifically, this will stand out. But it also does something to the ear, I feel. A444. So look, this is A440. And all I got to do is push this 4 times. And now I'm in A444. Some people can't even tell the difference. So like I can't sing, but I will sing on the album really, really well, hopefully. Right now, who knows? I guess I'm getting sick. I guess it's late at night.
Yeah, man.
But
I don't know.
I'm gonna go for it, man.
I think it is late at night.
I guess you're right.
Still guessing.
Still guessing.
How many days to record all this?
So we have 4 days booked at Matador Studios.
How many days each band get? 2, I guess?
So the first 2 days are dedicated to recording the meat and potatoes of everything, essentially.
So is everybody going to be there then?
It's going to be just both core bands. That's all that's really expected. Now, there's some people that are going to drop by because they can only make those 2 days. But like Andre's going to go to see family, and so I think Ariel. So we're going to get Andre and Ariel in on those 2 days too. They'll be vocalists.
Andre's going to be on it?
Yeah.
Sing?
And I'm also like writing some scripts because I want them to have like these like epic like dialogues. So I'm going to go in music theater on everybody.
That's what's up.
But yeah, the first 2 days are going to be the meat and potato bands. And then after that, everybody that's still left, the horn section, we're going to try to get the horn section on the last 2 days. So the 24, 25, 26, and 27, leading up to Thanksgiving, essentially, I'll be in that studio. And you're going to be there too, man. I hope you're there, at least on the last 2 days. If not, whenever you can, get some lyrics in, get some words in, and we'll get you in the album, dude. There's going to be a shout out track at the very, very end too, where everybody gets to kind of put their own 2 cents and say some stuff. So it's going to be a very, very personal album. And I like those albums that do that. They kind of give you like a little, like, listen into like their personal lives. You
gonna use old recordings of Matt to sneak him in on the album?
Right. Just who knows? Maybe Matt will show up. Maybe Matt will see this and be like, hey, I'm going to go. That'd be cool. Matt, 24, 25, 26, and 27. All day at the Matador Studios. If you hear this.
Just put a note on his door.
This might be released after that date. Or it might be
a note on his door.
Right? I should. I should leave like a note or something. Might have to do that.
Put it on the car window. Like if you see
just be like, Matt, it's the album, dude. What is up, man? It's finally happening. So yeah, that's basically the idea. I have a really good friend of mine, Nicolas Valdez. He's the leader of Los Nahualatos. He did an amazing poem.
Which one is that? Is that the
He's the accordion player.
Okay.
So he did an amazing poem on our second album release for the Nahualatos. And I was kind of inspired by his like theatrics to kind of put some theater into my album for sure. And I kind of wanted him to be a part of like a select story. There's a story that's told in the album about like a ship that's traveling on a clock essentially. And it's like an ancient space traveling ship. And there's all these people who are living on there. And they're led by a leader who essentially is like unchallenged until one day somebody like challenges the leader and decides to like kill the king who like leads this like ancient ship across the universe. And as soon as he like takes like the lead of the ship and like takes control, like everything basically goes wrong for him. So there's like a story that Nicolas reads, and it's based off of that kind of like vibe. And it is kind of like, you know, like ancient Greeky, ancient. I like to have that like mystical feel. So that's what I'm kind of going for. And I feel like Texas is like the best place to kind of like find those mysteries and stuff like that. I don't know if you listen to, shout out to Chicanx versus Aliens podcast. I only heard
yours.
That's such a cool podcast, and you know he talks to people that are local who talk about mystical things. So, and I feel like, you know, I a lot of that speaks to me, and some people, you know, they turn like a blind eye to that. They don't want to, you know, they'll like roll their eyes. I mean, I wouldn't even walk into a psychic shop because I have my own like spiritual beliefs about that. But ultimately, like, you know, I feel like my religion right now is undefined. Like I believe in God and I believe in like choices, but I also believe in spirits a little bit. I saw a couple spirits in my house. I got video of it. So there's been some crazy things that have happened these past couple of years that kind of motivated this album to kind of stand out, you know. For one, Green Lightning. There's a great Green Lightning podcast on Chicanx versus Aliens. But yeah, I hope this album just kind of inspires just curiosity for mystery and the unexplainable things that make our life so special.
Green Lightning, every time I hear you talk about that, it just reminds me of young Kra, the Kra I met, and it also reminds me, because that's what you used to talk about a lot, and I was just getting to know you, so you were just this wild ass dude who just kept bringing pizza to my place.
Yes.
Because you still wanted to practice, and you were the only one who wanted to practice. No one else wanted to practice anymore because they were jaded. But and then it also reminds me of just that summer when I would when I went driving around America for 2 months. Because I would call you, and then you'd still be talking about it. Like,
I remember.
Or at that time, you go to Houston, and you visit Zach, and I don't know Zach yet, but I guess I'll meet him later.
Those are the days, man.
Yeah. It was a good time, man.
Yeah, dude. For real.
Good time.
Yeah, man. So all those moments, dude, they kind of like they brought me here. And now we're all making an album together at Thanksgiving. And like that to me is such a special thing. It's kind of like a, you know, it's just like a documentation of like this moment in time when like all of these like great musicians that kind of have their own projects going on kind of like put down everything they're doing to kind of put together a Kra album. Like I feel like Kra is a term of endearment. Like anybody can be a Kra. Like it's just it I say it to a bunch of people. It kind of started in high school as like this nickname for me, but it became like the new bro. Like, what's up, Kra? Like that's kind of how it started. But yeah, man, I feel like just the friendships that I had, I'm very lucky to have them. And I know that, you know, I owe these people like the world, man. I'm really thankful that they're doing this album for me and kind of sacrificing that time. So yeah, everybody's a Kra. Why? Because like we kind of all talk in Kra, or at least they accept me for talking in Kra. Like, cause we'll be there and I'll be like, "What's up, Kra?" And they'll like say, "Yeah, nothing, Kra." And my friend Jack, you know, Jackson Cowan. So Jack, leader of the North American Pharaohs, he's gonna be on the album. It was a last minute decision. It was almost like, cause me and Jack, we like to poke at each other a lot. So it was like this, like, do I let Jack in the album or do I not let Jack in the album? Cause me and Jack, he was like the originator also who started the nickname Kra.
Oh, so you known him for a long time.
Yeah, I've known him since high school. And he's known a lot of these songs that I've been playing. He was there since the beginning, which is kind of why like I want him to be on the album. Like there'll be moments when both bands are not playing, it's just me, and I wanted to do just solo me. But I feel like if the album's called Duality, why not make it a duet? So like instead of the solo parts with me, it'll be me and Jack doing the solo now duet parts. Which is cool because the piano will sound a lot better with a rock guitar or acoustic guitar behind it. Just another layer to kind of keep the music moving. So yeah, Jack was one of like the first people who started calling me Kra. And we had our own little language where like we'd say Kra at the end of every sentence. And some people got annoyed of it, you know, it kind of became overused. And I kind of like stopped using it when I got to college. But the nickname followed me somehow. And then all my college friends started calling me Kra. But I built really good relationships in college. And I feel like moving on from college into my professional career as a teacher, some of the friends I maintained, you know, they still called me Kra. And the nickname kind of stuck. And the language still kind of was there, you know, just like saying like, "What's up, Kra?" And I mean, I'm not talking Kra right now because it's not like a Kra setting, you know. This feels a little, you know, pressurized on the spot. But when I get really comfortable, and if I call you Kra, you know that I'm getting comfortable with you, and I'm kind of calling you like bro, basically. And it's not just for musicians, but I feel like a bunch of musicians get it, and they do understand the language of Kra, and they'll just like play along. Because really, that kind of, you know, musicians are smart people. And like they say that the people that choose not to join a joke, like it kind of like, I don't want to say it makes them dumb, but it's just like they're not living in the moment, you know? If there's a bunch of people laughing and you have like something funny to like say as well, or like something to like move the joke forward, then like you should do that. You should never like cower away from like making people happy essentially. Anyway, what am I talking about? So like essentially we'll start talking Kra, and then like other musicians will be like, "Yeah, Kra, that's cool, Kra." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, Kra." Anyway, how you doing, Kra? Like stuff like that, you know? So
Origins of a Kra.
Origins of the Kra. It's gonna evolve. Hopefully.
What about the origins?
You know,
of
it was funny.
art?
I went to a choir clamp a long time ago.
Clamp?
Went to a choir camp a long time ago, and one of like my proudest moments was when like they got the UTSA choir camp to like warm up with the word Kra. They were like, "Kra, Kra, 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 Kra," stuff like that, you know. And then like I remember they were like questioning like, "Why are they saying Kra?" And my boy Keith was just like, "Well, Kra is great practice for percussive entrances and breath push accents, whatever he was saying.
Yeah.
He like, he definitely supported the use of the word Kra. And there were a couple people that like left that camp like saying Kra and like talking Kra. I didn't hope it like, I don't know. Some people still tell me that they'll still like talking Kra because those students are now like seniors or they graduated, but they'll tell me that they still use like the term Kra now and then. So that's cool, Maybe it's catchy.
There you go. Who did the... Part of me wanted to ask origins of the Ark.
The Ark was just Kra backwards, But the Ark, the first Ark project, that was like the first band at UTSA I made. And it was just... The idea was like how Noah's Ark kind of saved all the animals before the flood. It was like this was going to be the project that like stood out and saved music before like the flood of like 4/4 time and like
the flood of
just
4/4
super
time.
simplified music. Like some people always like say like music by like law is just going to get simpler and simpler and easier. And I just hope that's not true. I hope that music maintains its complexity. So hopefully this album kind of pushes music in that direction. Because, like I do feel like there's a need for simple, anticipated music. This might be like, talking down upon things. And I really don't want to, but like lo-fi beats, like I love lo-fi beats, but they are pretty simple, 4/4 time. And because you can anticipate what happens next, it's enjoyable because it's something that you can like rely on and relax on and like always like count on being there, you can count on it, always there, counting, rhythm, repeating things. So like I try to like kind of stir away from that. Like they are repeating rhythms, but they're a little bit more complex repeating rhythms. One of my favorite ones is that other Kra song.
Oh yeah.
Down the ancient world, the diamonds in your skies. So that song is definitely some kind of engine that like moves, and I was so like excited to hear the band come together for one of the rehearsals and kind of put like a nice drum set groove to that. I know. Did you hear that track I sent you that track, but
On the WhatsApp?
yeah, it's fire on WhatsApp. Shout out to WhatsApp. It's a good app.
Sponsor.
But yeah, man. So this is gonna be music for musicians. That's what I'm going for. It's gonna be a little jazzy because there's gonna be some like solos and some liberties taken by the musician. But I feel like each musician strives for that. They don't want to have an album where they're like controlled and just like told to play exactly what to play. I don't have those kind of friends. I have friends that like to kind of think outside the box and kind of do things, if anything, with their own flair to it, So I'm looking forward to this album, man. I'm really excited for it. It's gonna happen this Sunday. That's the day one, and I have a couple rehearsals left to do with everybody, and trying to get them all scheduled for those 4 days has been a very, very stressful process. But in the end, it'll pay off, because it'll be almost like a gift to the world, and it might be released before New Year's. My release date is scheduled for New Year's, but I'm hoping maybe if we get it done after Thanksgiving, maybe like on Christmas, it could be a Christmas present for the world. That'd be cool. Maybe I'll save it for New Year's, but it will be a little Christmassy. It'll kind of fit the Christmas feel, at least the winter feel, So who knows,
New Year's Kra party going down?
Probably. We need to do something. We need to do another Boosh session. That was so great to get you and Josh there.
It was good to have us all together again. I don't know when I could do that stuff again. That stuff.
Indeed. You're like, wait, before you say anything.
It's definitely fun in the moment. I don't mind doing it in the moment. I just don't know if I'll ever post them.
Yeah. It's a lot of material, man.
They'll be posted Whenever I feel like it. I don't know. Like maybe
That's
like
you, man.
thousands
It's
of
your
years from
schedule.
now.
Well, at the same time, I
Yeah.
mean, you're still a one-man show, dude.
But it's fun in the moment though. Like it was definitely, especially like that day. Like again, I was depressed over one of
That
those
day
girls.
was, yeah, dude.
So
And I do take away some moments from like those boost session parties, dude.
that was
Like,
your birthday too.
like it
That
was my
one.
birthday for one, but like I
Yeah.
remember like Xylos like playing his amazing set, and I'm just like saxing it up right here, and like
And
everybody
now you
stopped,
play live with
everybody's
him.
head turned, and they're like, "What?"
And now you play live. With
And
him.
like now, me and Xylo are playing live, and we've been doing that for a while, but I think that moment was one of those moments that kind of like pushed us in that direction to like, yo, we should really take this outside of my living room. Like, let's go to the world, So
I mean, what's the whole point of doing shit a lot? Like, I don't be posting anymore, but like that's why I did shit every day and doing a lot, because you just get better by doing it a lot. So
that,
or you come up with shit by doing it a lot. Just doing shit
that's why,
enables you to do more shit. Like,
it's that mentality that like is very contagious and it's positive to be around. And I'm very fortunate to have like these roommates that I'm living with right now that are practicing musicians. So I come home and I have Sark in the garage and he's practicing all of these repertoire pieces for his college auditions, or I'm not sure if that's correct, but I think that's correct. My eye is messing with me, man. I'm so sorry. There's like,
well, primarily these are audio things, so like something no one can notice, really.
boom. Well, yeah, I'm really lucky to have musicians that are just practicing in the house, because it kind of, you are who you hang out with,
Yeah.
So if you put yourself with the right crowd of people, then everybody potentially could progress.
I've been trying to solve that riddle for my life.
You got to hang out with the right people. You can't do it just by yourself. Sometimes isolation is good, but you could isolate yourself like too much, over isolate yourself, and then you start like, treating the other voice like, I don't even know. You just kind of stop listening to that other voice. Well, no. I can't tell you what you do with the other voice. But there's definitely another voice, guys. There's definitely something talking to you. Here's proof about that. Like, if you've ever like learned something on your own where you've had to say like, man, through trials and tribulations, I had to like learn this the hard way, but I learned it, and like I finally, say for example, like say you're like you lost weight, but the only way you could lose weight is by finally accepting like, man, I gotta stop eating like Mexican food late at night, or I gotta stop eating like carbs all day. Like, it's like, even though everybody was telling you like to stick to stay off of carbs, like it took like a mental like change in your brain to like stop you. And I feel like that mental change like is a conversation that you have with yourself. And that conversation essentially is between you and this other deity, this other being, this other life source.
Yeah, man.
Possibly your ancestors, possibly, like,
I had like a big revelation last week in terms of my depression. That shit fucked me up. But yeah, like some of that stuff is stuff I've heard like throughout the last couple of months, but it's like you need to realize it in your own way,
yeah.
And it wasn't until I saw it in this way I was like, oh shit.
Like there's a bunch of people that say like they hear like God speaks to them, and like I do believe them. I believe that there's something speaking to them, like something's telling them like clear messages that they understand they aren't getting from themselves. This is like the message of God, or I mean that's what they're saying it is. And for me, I'm like, like could it be like another external source? Could it be somebody in a radio tower somewhere, like who just got like the right frequency to kind of like and like whisper to us, like, it could be a bunch of different things that I just like to kind of think outside the box that way, I guess. But yeah, I do believe that there is a dual side, and it's very present in your life. And it's like what dictates like your left or right choice, and maybe even like that definitely shapes the future. So, like, potentially, what am I talking about? It's getting late.
The voice and duality.
I'm just trying to like say that like maybe like these ancient ancestors can see the future, and so they're like betting and like yelling at you to go left or go right. And the reason why they want you to do that is because if you go right, then the future will kind of go in their favor. So, like, I feel like that day my car got hit by a green lightning, like, there was a chance that maybe my car might have exploded or I might have, like, gotten, like, a fatal car accident. And, like, if that was the case, then, like, you know, I wouldn't be here today. So, like, I felt like I was graced with, like, luck. But if there was, like, millions of dimensions and millions of different realities, then, like, there might have been dimensions where, like, I did die, you know, for those reasons. So, like, this particular dimension, the chances of it were less. It's like if you have, like, a near-death experience, this is, like, a thought I had a long time ago, but I don't know why it came to me again. But, like, if you have a near-death experience, I feel like that puts you closer to a certain path that is either uncharted or that is already completely written out for you. So, like, say, like, 1 in a million people get struck by lightning, right? Well, if you're that 1 in a million people, then, like, that chance of you getting struck by lightning, even in, like, your, like, what are the chances of it happening even in your own dimensional realities? Are they also 1 in a million, or do you get struck in every one of those? I'm pretty sure not everyone. I'm pretty sure there's more that you don't get struck by lightning because the chances of that happening are very slim. You have to be at the right spot at the right time. And that could have like been like the lightning doesn't find you, you know, you have to be at the right spot at the right time. Or maybe it does find you. That'd be crazy. Who knows? I went off on a tangent.
The mysteries of lightning, dude.
Indeed. These are the thoughts of Kra.
Those are all potential future album titles.
Right?
The thoughts of Kra.
Thoughts of Kra. I kind of wanted to continue the number scheme and kind of go like duality, but I was like, I can't call it trinality. Like,
nah, you could. Ain't no one stopping you.
I know, but trinality just sounds too like fatality, you know? Trinality.
Fornality.
So maybe like just try.
Or quadruplex. Quadruplex. I don't know.
It'd have to be try for 3. And then we'll worry about 4 later.
Pick a different number.
Just like 87 or
if
something.
Album 1 is
duality, 2, and then 87ality.
Yeah, then the album 3 should be 87.
87.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. You heard it first here.
Album 2 ain't even made yet, but get ready for album 3. 87.
It's crazy though. I'm glad I'm getting these songs done because I have like at least like 32 songs. And really by songs I mean like chord progressions that I want to kind of throw down.
Also all 32 will make it?
No. You're only going to get about like 7, but there's going to be at least 9 tracks. Cuz we're going to like definitely develop some of the songs, like character development. It's going to be song development. We're going to do different versions, and it's going to take you on a wild ride, man. Like essentially like the feel for like this, we'll go to like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. So we'll change the feel and that'll be a completely different song. But like there's a song that won't be on the album that I made up like 2 months ago, and it was inspired by that. But it just goes, say aquili and died is just 2 chords. So I was just like, oh, that's cool. It's too bad that can't be on the album. Album 2.
I mean, it can be.
It definitely could be because it hasn't been written yet, you know? Yeah. But I don't know if they're gonna like charge me more if I'm like, hey, I have 2 more hours worth of material to put on the album.
Yeah.
I mean, they're only charging me by the day, which is nice. But it's just like, I know that if I record a lot, then they're gonna have to mix a lot. So after we record it, then they're gonna have to like spend more time compiling it. But ultimately, you know, the world is mine. I could do whatever I really want.
Nas said the world is yours, track 4.
There's this. One of the tracks is When the World Falls. And this is like basically like it's like confirming aliens. It's like this one is like the alien attack. Oh my God! I told you there was such thing as aliens. There's aliens! Run away! Aliens! And then like after that, we kind of like do a reprise of it. So the beginning of the song is really cool because it goes like. Dun, 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 and then it goes to the other song. Overtime. And the song just jumps right into it. Dun, 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 da, da, dun. So much more is indescribable in the darkened world. But that song goes, we saw it fall. We saw when the world falls down. Do you understand? So it's gonna be cool.
It's like Prague.
Exactly. It's gonna be just like this, like very lush musical experience that I'm like trying to capture. So like even like the musicians that are playing the songs, they haven't heard it too much. They're only gonna get about less than 4 hours of practice before they jump in the studio with it, each song. And I mean like minimal, like that 4 hours is gonna cover the entire album that they're doing. So what that is achieving is this like raw, like I'm still kind of, because like a musician, the more and more they play a show, the more they fall into their old ways, you know. Right now I'm trying to like go for some uncharted territory, you know. And when you're on that journey for the first time, and when you're like exploring this song and all the scales that can go with it and stuff like that, that brings out an element of excitement that we call rawness, you know. And that is what I'm going for. That's what I really want. I want people to kind of be like, I want the musicians in the studio also to be on their toes, you know? It was kind of like the Boosh kids, man. Because we get all the Boosh kids together and like we wouldn't know what your set list was. You would just like play some like cool beats and it was like, okay, figure out the key, guys. Here we go, guys. Boom. And then like, if it was magic, it was magic. And like, I mean, you know, sometimes the notes are wrong, but that's why we're practicing 4 hours before. So there will be some rehearsal. There will be
the loneliest monk, man. You know, wrong notes.
You're right.
Resolve, right?
You're definitely right. But somehow it seems like there are still wrong notes. Anyway, yeah. What else you got? Questions, answers.
I mean, we keep going, or
I think we're good. I feel good. I feel like this has been a well-rounded. I've talked a lot, and you've listened very, very graciously. Thank you. Thank you for this.
I hit you if you want a journey. I can hit you with the life questions. I don't know if you want that or not.
I mean, we could do. Let's do one more. Let's do one more.
One more what? What is one more? What does that mean? One more?
I guess question.
But like album shit or life questions?
Live question. Let's go live question.
I give you the easy one. It's the one that was given to me by someone else, but I asked it normal now. Last time I asked it was very bad. Who's your best friend?
Dang. My best friend today. Wow. I guess I could say Jack Cowan.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's one of these people that can like, you know, he can make me laugh like I did when I was in high school, you know, and I feel like I had to grow up all through high school to now. So I kind of matured, but he could still kind of bring out that, like, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Immature? Yeah. So, yeah, he could bring that out in me, which is cool. You know, sometimes that's needed. A good laugh. Like the kind of laugh where you like cry, you know, like those kind of laughs. Those are good. So, yeah, I mean, we have our ups and downs, but I feel like I was going to also say my roommates because I'm really cool with all my roommates. But
plus one
I
of
feel
them's
like
here.
best friend, right?
So you give them the in-person
But I feel
shot.
like best friend, like, you know, this is so hard to pick because I was going to say Matt.
The person
Matt's
not
gone.
in LA.
I was like, no, where's Matt? Maybe Jack. Jack makes me laugh. Then I was going to be like, my best friend is the person I hung out today with. And I was like, who'd I hang out with today with? Just my roommates. Just like, who'd I really... It's just weird, you know? Like, I feel like when you get older, you know, my old friend told me that you have to make time for people that you want to keep in your life. So I kind of took that to heart, and it was like, if you want people to still kind of hang out with you and maintain that friendship, then you have to like also make an effort to call them and like set up dates and keep on like pressuring them to hang out with you, because the older we get, the busier we get, and the more we kind of get ingrained in our own schedules and isolate ourselves, which is kind of weird, but it's a sad reality that I'm realizing. The older you get, the more distant your friends become, and that's why Facebook is kind of like a good thing, because we kind of use that as like an excuse to like keep in touch, you know? Like I remember when MySpace first came out, I didn't feel as bad at the end of the school year saying goodbye to all your friends, because I was like, oh, we still got MySpace. We could still talk to each other, you know? We never would talk to each other. But I mean, like, it's the same with the people that sign your yearbook and they leave your number and they say, hey, have a kick-ass summer, you know? They'll say something like that. And then they'll like say, call me or keep in touch, KIT. And you never do, you know? You just kind of like part ways. But in a way, I feel like everybody goes on their own adventures, and you need to have some kind of respect for that, because there's a reason for that. And it's that, you know, this world demands focus, you know, and no matter what you want, you know, you can get it, but you just got to stay focused, and you got to work hard, and you got to take the beatings for it sometimes. And, you know, like if you want to get a house, you know, and you're like just scratching pennies together, like you'll eventually get that house if you're like really dedicated and really, really focused. But that's a big beating you got to take, you know, especially if you're, you know, not in a financially stable place. And there's a lot of people in San Antonio that are in that, you know, kind of area that's this like struggle bus, you know, living month to month. And, you know, that's why like I'm so grateful for music, and I'm so grateful for these, you know, expressive releases, and then, you know, these good friendships. But a best friend, it's really hard to like claim one as a best friend the older I get. I'm single too, so I don't got like a girlfriend to say is my best friend. So yeah, it's the people that, you know, I kind of keep close and have conversations with. It could be people from work. I had some best friends I used to work with at Stewart, but Stewart ain't no more anymore. I mean, Stewart became Democracy Prep, and then a lot of my friends left that school. So yeah, man. So who was my best friend? That was a good, challenging question. Now I want to go and like think about that even after this interview.
Challenging than I thought it was gonna
be like, where is my best friend? Anyway,
did you want more? Or
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm thankful. Boosh out.
Where do people find you? Where they gonna find this album?
Well, I don't got a Spotify page yet, but hopefully
you gonna make one
when
for it?
I get the Material album out, when I get the Material album in my hands, I'll be like, okay, I'll probably open up a Spotify thing now and post it. So
where can people find you otherwise?
Kra 43, that's what it hopefully will be called. Kra 43, KRA 43. And you can look for it on Spotify, iTunes, all the downloading platforms within the very near future, hopefully by New Year's.
What about if people want to contact you?
If you want to contact me, you have to look up Chris Malakara on Facebook. You could message me on Facebook, or I don't really like the Instagram messaging thing. So let's just do Facebook. I don't want to give up my cell phone number right away. That'd be suicide. Oops. You're supposed to give like a warning, right? If you say that word.
Are you? I don't know. Is that like a law?
I have some friends that say you're supposed to like trigger warning them if you say the S word.
All right, good. I mean,
like, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't mean to say that word.
Last words.
I'm so sorry, guys. I mean, it's
better last words. Better
last words. Hey, if you're listening to this podcast, then like and subscribe to Abe's podcast and stuff, because you probably already have done that. But if you haven't done that yet, you should do that, because it's important. And this is building the future and supporting local entrepreneurs. So do us a favor, you know?
There you go. Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey, Boosh.
Boom.
Yeah.
Fire pizza way.
Hey, do that and that shit, brother.